What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about all upcoming Black Ops 6 maps that weren't in the multiplayer beta, some early footage, plus even more. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and as a big reminder, we got plenty of brand new article coverage going up on detonated.com for those who want to stay up to date with all things Call of Duty, whether it's Season 6 for MW3 or, of course, Black Ops 6. It has been a very busy last couple of weeks with the multiplayer beta, the COD Next event. I've also broke down quite a bit when it comes to Warzone and Zombies, and there's even more on the way here on the channel, of course, when it comes to the Haunting update, which should be coming out in the next couple of weeks. I think tomorrow morning I'm going to go live with a bit of a reaction to the PS5 Pro announcement, and then Wednesday we have the dual-wield Reclaimer amp to close out Season 5 for MW3, and we should be getting a blog post and roadmap for the final season at some point later this week. Now, I want to thank everybody out there for the crazy support on today's live stream. Yet again, we went ahead and played as much multiplayer as we could to close out weekend 2 of the beta. They actually extended it by a good 4.5 hours-ish. We weren't really expecting the extension because it wasn't announced anywhere, but COD HQ did have a timer in-game just confirming a 4-hour add-on to the open access beta, so we went ahead and took advantage of that, got plenty of nukes, more games to gunfight in, and lots of great b-roll that you'll be seeing over the course of several upcoming Black Ops 6 videos. But with all that out the way, let's talk about some upcoming maps that we're not going to be seeing until launch October 25th. We already have our full list of upcoming maps for Black Ops 6 multiplayer that got revealed during the COD Next broadcast, but a bunch of footage also has surfaced for each of these experiences. So as Treyarch did confirm a couple of weeks ago, every multiplayer map is going to be small to medium sized in Black Ops 6. That only pertains to launch, though. They could, of course, change their mind post-launch and add in some large-scale maps. They could bring back Fireteam or Combined Arms. Never say never to those bigger type experiences releasing in BO6 multiplayer later, but at least at launch, here are the maps that we're going to be seeing apart from the ones you just played in the beta. So during the beta, we got to actually check out Protocol. This was only available via the training course and was not a map that you were able to play any other core mosh pit on. And the map is fairly foggy. I'd say it's fairly small, to be quite honest with you, but it's kind of cool to see the interrogation room, which could be a callback to Black Ops 1, or just a simple interrogation room just on its own. You can see a bunch of sleeping quarters where some soldiers are, arcade machines. The map is fairly pretty. Kind of reminds me of a map that we got in World War II 2017 from Sledgehammer. It just has that vibe. But overall, this map does look pretty damn small, so I'm assuming the action is going to be pretty wild on it. Fingers crossed for some balanced spawns, since obviously in any multiplayer beta for Call of Duty, you're going to come across some pretty wild spawns, and the smaller the map is, the more hectic that experience is going to be. But it's cool that we got a small glimpse of this map, even if it was just through the training course here in the multiplayer beta. Moving on to some other maps, though, a bunch of little teaser clips did get posted by Treyarch as of recently, so let's start off with Subsonic. I'm getting heavy vibes here of Hangar 18 from Black Ops 1, if you guys remember that map. That map played pretty damn cool, and I think it was also loosely based on the layout we saw in Moon for Black Ops 1 Zombies. Kind of that same layout with the hangar, you have the Blackbird inside of it, and here inside of Subsonic, you can also see what I believe is the SR-71 Blackbird, or at least some type of jet that's similar to it. It looks pretty cool. You can see some broken rubble and some interesting design overall here with this 6v6 map. Now, the map takes place during the day, and we also got, I think, a glimpse of it in the full multiplayer trailer a couple of weeks back. I wouldn't rule out the possibility of also maybe getting some intel drops from the multiplayer team, kind of detailing more of these maps that we didn't get to try during the beta. But next up, we have a map called Redcard. Now, this map looks really interesting. It seems like it's like a college campus or some type of mini mall. Very interesting looking design overall with the map itself. Not exactly sure what's going on here, but there's clearly an anniversary being celebrated and some pretty cool props around the environment. Could also be some type of dormitory for a university or something. It's a little unclear as to what's going on with the actual map, but clearly it's also featuring a different language apart from English, so maybe this is an area that we'll end up seeing in the campaign or something. If I had to guess, I think we are going to get several sections from campaign turned into multiplayer maps, which isn't a bad thing at all, because a lot of folks out there, especially with Black Ops 6, they won't be touching the campaign. They will never know some of these areas are from the single player, and at least from what we know right now, none of the environments from campaign or multiplayer are featured in Zombies. So we're getting some pretty exclusive environments across every game mode here with this 4-year developed COD. And I'm not going to go into another tangent again about the 4-year developed Call of Duty game here, because although it has been 4 years since Cold War, Treyarch was obviously working on plenty of other projects since the release of Cold War. That's helping with ranked play for MP and Warzone, Zombies for Vanguard and Modern Warfare 3, the list goes on. Moving on to another map, though, we have what is called the Vault. Now, this map seems like it'll be pretty small, but we got plenty of footage of it within the full multiplayer trailer, and I'm expecting something to do with the Vault to be featured in in the actual campaign, because we see there is a vault heist of sorts featured in the single player, so maybe it's based on whatever that level does entail, but it seems like it'll just be a big bank. Kind of reminds me a bit of the bank that we saw in Verdansk over in Modern Warfare 19 and Warzone 1, but I could already imagine there's going to be some folks that are probably going to camp in the actual vault with some trophy systems or like a deployable cover, snipers. Things are probably going to get crazy, but again, we have limited footage of all these upcoming multiplayer maps, so we're just making assumptions right now based on some of the clips that have been posted and some of the gameplay that was revealed in the full multiplayer trailer. Now, we then have a map called Payback, and it really does remind me of that safe house that you can see in the Black Ops 6 single player campaign. I'll put some campaign clips throughout this video if I could tell that, hey, maybe that environment's also from single player, it's going to be in multiplayer too. I'll put as many clips as I can on screen so you guys see the comparison. I believe that is the safe house. Now, I could be mistaken, it could just be a similar looking house, but it looks like it's going to have a very rural type of theme going on. You can see the forest in the distance, a very pretty looking map altogether, and yes, you can actually go inside of the little mansion as well, which is pretty damn cool. Now, that bank map I showed you earlier, based on the trailer and the footage that we have, could end up being the largest map at launch for Black Ops 6, or one of the largest, whereas this map Payback could be amongst one of the smallest, maybe on par with Babylon. It's a little unclear, but I'll also put a clip on screen of the blueprints that Treyarch went ahead and sent me several months ago. The safe house is going to be really important in the campaign. You obviously go here after every mission. You can upgrade your arsenal and discover some secrets, so I'm assuming it'll be roughly a similar length to the blueprints that you can see here on screen. But next up, we have a map that I'm really looking forward to, and it's probably my most anticipated map for Black Ops 6 multiplayer, Vorkuta. So we got plenty of footage already from the direct event back in June, since we're going to be seeing a campaign level that brings us back to Vorkuta for the first time since, well, Black Ops 1. This is also going to be a 6v6 multiplayer map. Yes, we have the map called Pit, which is a strike experience, which I believe covers the Vorkuta tunnels, but what about the actual above ground area of Vorkuta? That's what we're looking at here in this multiplayer map. So I don't think it's going to be an exact one-to-one to the Vorkuta mission we had in Black Ops 1, but it'll probably be fairly similar. It'll be worth doing some comparison videos for when the time does come and we can actually jump into this map. Obviously, this map wasn't available in the beta, or else I would have made that video already, but either way, it looks absolutely gorgeous, and I cannot wait to see how Vorkuta does play out inside of multiplayer. But I'm also really curious what Easter eggs we're going to be able to uncover within Vorkuta from campaign or the 6v6 multiplayer version, even the Strike Pit map. I wonder what we can end up coming across in Black Ops 6. They may give us some answers as to what really happened to Reznov back during the events of Black Ops 1. We finally unravel the John Trent mystery that I made a separate video about a couple of months ago. Really excited to see the return of Vorkuta here in this upcoming Call of Duty. But moving on to a map that you guys are probably really wondering more information about, this is Sandhouse. So this isn't a 6v6 version of Nuketown, to my understanding. This is a strike map that will support face-off and gunfight. So this seems to be a little bit of a closed-off portion of Nuketown, but it likely won't support regular 6v6 where you can earn kill streaks. I believe this is just going to be a strike map that, again, you can play very specific modes on. Yes, there will be 6v6 face-off and probably even, 2v2, 3v3 face-off, but this is certainly not the regular version of Nuketown that we may end up seeing added into Black Ops 6 with a 90s twist at some point in Season 1. Clearly, Season 1 has a very big focus on Nuketown, considering Area 99 for Resurgence. That map is all about the origins of Nuketown, and I posted a full video about that as of yesterday, going in more detail about all of the major overhauls and makeovers that we're going to get within Warzone following the release of the first season. Apart from that Resurgence map, you can always bet that they might end up adding in a 6v6 regular Nuketown, maybe at some point in Season 1, or maybe even before that, right? Cold War's Nuketown didn't come out until, I think it was the pre-season window. It wasn't at launch, and it also wasn't in Season 1, so maybe there's a surprise around the corner for a regular version of Nuketown here for Black Ops 6. But either way, this map looks gorgeous and reminds me a bit of, what was it, Nuke House? It was a condensed version of Nuketown in Black Ops Declassified on the PS Vita. Could be a similar case here, where it's very close, but with a bunch of areas also closed off. But coming towards the end here, we have Lowtown. This is going to be a 6v6 map, and we saw plenty of footage of this one via the Direct several months back. I actually thought it was going to be featured in the beta, but it wasn't. A lot of destroyed buildings here. You can see some markets you can navigate through, a lot of different corridors, some water you can swim through as well. It looks like it'll be a pretty cool map, kind of similar to some of the maps that we just played in the beta. A very destructive-like environment, but still a familiar one with, again, a regular town that you're able to navigate through. It looks looks pretty colorful, what you'd expect from a Black Ops game, right? But either way, that is the complete list of upcoming multiplayer maps for Black Ops 6. We've gone through all the 12 6v6 maps, including the ones that we got in the beta, and then we were just missing one strike map, right? In the beta, we got to see Stakeout, Gala, and Pit. The fourth one is, of course, Sandhouse. At the Treyarch event back in June, I know they showed us a list of all upcoming maps, and it was kind of hard to take names down of every single one, but I did notice that they showed us 3 strike maps, Gala, Pit, and even Stakeout, but one of them was redacted, and it was very clearly Nuketown. We just couldn't exactly make out what the name was because it was covered, but now we know, right? It's going to be a strike experience that I'm sure is going to raise a bit of controversy, and I'm sure they'll add in a classic Nuketown at some point in the future. Just had to add that in real quickly for those out there that are still confused with exactly how that map is going to work. Now, this is post-production DK adding this into the video. As I was about to render this video, Treyarch went ahead and tweeted out some really important information that is actually a response to something I just mentioned a few minutes ago. It looks like that vault bank-looking map is going to be massive, judging from the footage that was seen in the multiplayer trailer alone. And what do you know, as Treyarch confirmed on Twitter, here's what's going on here. So, as I said, for those curious about map size variety at launch, the majority of Black Ops 6 core maps are medium size, similar to Raid or Summit. So in terms of the list from largest to smallest when it comes to 6v6 and even our strike experiences, here's the list. We have Vault, which we just talked about, Protocol, Lowtown, Redcard, Vorkuta, Skyline, Rewind, Subsonic, Payback, Babylon, Derelict, Scud, Sandhouse, which is of course our Strike Nuketown map that confirms once again it's not a traditional 6v6 experience. Then coming towards the end, Pit, Gala, and even Stakeout. Now they also said that they're aware flow and variety are critical to the best player experience, and they feel like they have a great mix of maps coming to Black Ops 6. They also suggest that some other blog posts are going to be coming out featuring tac maps for the maps that we actually haven't played yet. So yeah, I would definitely expect a launch multiplayer blog post in the coming weeks talking more about these experiences and other content that obviously wasn't available in the beta. There's still a lot left in store when it comes to some Black Ops 6 marketing, so stay tuned for that. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. That was a big overview of every upcoming multiplayer map that you guys didn't get to try in the beta. I put together as much footage as I possibly can of all these experiences from the direct, from the multiplayer reveal trailer, and of course from the recent Treyarch clips that got posted over on Twitter. With that being said, I really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.